Hey guys. So in this one we're gonna talk about Hook. And I believe it has reached its 35 years of being out. Let me just check to see it is correct. Okay. 35 years, alright? But before we talk about it, make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, alright? Let's fly into this video to a far, far away land. Woo! 35 years of Hook. Robin Williams is just um one of those actors that you can't replace no matter how hard you try. Um he he brought Peter Pan to life in a different way. The story was great. I mean, even Spielberg has said he would love to reshoot it if he could, but unfortunately, I mean, we don't have Robin Williams with us anymore, and it's very sad. You know, I loved Robin Williams in this as a child. I grew up with this movie. I absolutely adore it, and I absolutely love this movie. Okay, The Lost Boys. You know, Dustin Hoffman is Hook. Um, Robin Williams is Peter Pan. We're just two of the iconic classic characters. Rufio was like everybody's like kid for favorite. Yes, I liked Rufio. Little did I know, I didn't know this until I was older, that the same actor that played Rufio is the same actor that plays Zuko and voiced Zuko in the Avatar animated series. Um, so I had no idea. Uh, I loved I love this movie, and it still holds up to this day, 100%. I think so anyway. You know, um, Neverland was dope. The one of my most favorite scenes in that movie is when they're all like eating, and you know he's just like, "What the hell? Where's the food?" You know, and she's like, "You can't be Peter Pan if you don't imagine you being Peter Pan." You know, and they go back and forth. Him and Rufio, you root food food you root food food bad food whatever he says, and you know classic classic stuff. And him becoming Peter Pan was awesome. Dustin was like, where Hook was like, how did you fit in those tights, being the age you are. um yeah, Neverland was awesome, and the story was so good because, you know, he he goes back and forth to see Wendy, and eventually Wendy's just like, I can't go back with you anymore. I'm too old. I grew up. And he sees her granddaughter. He falls in love and ends up staying himself and creating a family. And Peter grows up, which he promised he said he would never do. And he ends up doing that. He grows up, and then Hook takes his family away, and he goes back, and everything comes back to him. He remembers everything. He remembers being Peter Pan. He remembers being this child who said he would never grow up and always would want to have fun. And at the very end, he said, he would never forget. Um, he ends up passing down the torch to somebody else, being the hold the pan. Um, you know, by the end of the movie, Wendy says, I guess your adventures are over, and he goes, oh no, to live would be an awfully big adventure. And they could do another one. There is ideas for another one. I have a few, but it's one of those movies where I just it's do you want to touch this movie? Do you want to continue? And honestly, it's just one of those classics where I wouldn't touch it. It'd be a nice idea to continue off of it. Um, but it still holds up to this day. I love it. And yeah, I I have nothing else to say about it, it's just a good movie. Classic Robin Williams. We get the humor, we get the adventure, we get good versus evil, all that fun stuff. So, anyway, guys, let me hear your thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear if anybody grew up with this movie. Let me know. Um, if you like this video, give it a like. Give me a subscription. Give me all that fun stuff. You don't have to. It's whatever. I don't care. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, please subscribe. Please give us a like. And we hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Love. Stay safe. Adios.